In today's video, we're doing something that I thought I would actually not do in many more years to come. We are gonna unbox a MacBook Air for 2020. I'm W2Best and I make videos about tech, travel and inspiration. And if you like this kind of video, I would be really happy if you wanted to like the video and maybe even subscribe to the channel. That helps me out a ton and gives you all the content I'm gonna be putting out the upcoming weeks and months. There will be a lot of laptop content, but also other tech content, and I think I have a pretty good backlog that you would probably enjoy if you like this video. I haven't bought a new Mac laptop since I got my MacBook Pro 2013. I used that laptop for many years, but then since about 2017 I've been only using PC computers. However, I just employed my first person in my new digital marketing business that I run here in Gothenburg, and she wants to work with a Mac, so I figured that I would pick up a MacBook Air and then I use it for about a week or so that I get some experience using Mac in 2020, and then I can make a few videos during this time and see how does it stack up against PC in 2020. How is a MacBook Air versus a Lenovo Yoga Slim 7, for example? The MacBook Air is roughly 12 or 1300 euros, whereas the Yoga Slim 7 I have is about 900-ish euros in its standard pricing. So this will be very interesting to see, and the first thing we're gonna do is that we're gonna unbox this thing and see how is the experience of unboxing a Mac in 2020 and how does it differ to other products that I have been unboxing. If you have any request for a video that you want me to make during this about 1 week that I will be having the MacBook Air 2020 in my house, then please let me know in the comments below. That would be amazing. And also, if you want to buy the MacBook Air 2020, there will be links to a few different configurations down in the video description below. Alright, it's time to unbox the MacBook Air for 2020. I'm usually always on the lookout for deals when I buy machines, and this one was a previously open box. So here they have placed a sticker saying that they have checked the product and it is fine. They have erased all the data, and then they have sealed it with this little sticker where there's a signature with the person that has checked the product. I'm gonna bring out my equally tiny unboxing knife and just remove this sticker. That is a nice little effect there, how it slowly moves up and then it lifts off. I think this goes pretty well in like this, and then it slowly glides in again. Apple present their product on top. This is very different from most of the PCs I've been unboxing, where you have some kind of packaging coming up when you open the box, and then you kind of have to dig the laptop up from some different layers of plastic and paper. And here we get presented with the laptop straight away. Taking the laptop out, we see what is in the box except the laptop itself. We have got one of the USB-C to USB-C cables. I use this one with my Hyperjuice 100 watt charger as well, and I really like this cable. I think it's doing a great job to deliver high wattage over USB-C. Then we have a little booklet thingy with some paperwork in it. And the charger is tiny. It's like one of the smallest chargers I have seen with any laptop I have used. And since this is the brick and then you just use the USB-C cable, the total charger size is just really small. And this is a 30 watt power brick. So that's interesting. This I'm gonna try with the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7 as well and see how well it works, if it works to charge at 30 watts, which I haven't tried before. Up top here, there's just the Apple logo and nothing else but that. In the front here, we got a little bit of a hinge that goes in so that you can get your thumb in and lift the laptop lid up. In the bottom, we have 4 rubber feet. And then we have a bunch of Torx screws that is keeping the laptop together. In the back, there's not a lot going on, just a very plain hinge that though sits really nicely with the rest of the chassis. Then on the left hand side we have two USB-C ports and they are both Thunderbolt enabled. And on the right hand side we have a 3.5mm headphone jack that I guess I should be happy is included, since this has a very minimal port setup. Apple is removing headphone jacks in their iPhones, and Asus started removing them from their laptops. Moment of truth, let's see if this can be opened with one hand. Well, that was no problem at all. It is visible that this is a unit that has been used before. It even had a little bit of fingerprints up here in the top part of the screen. This is the first time I'm setting up a Mac in a very long time, so I'm not very used to the process. But here they ask if we want to transfer information to this Mac computer. And I currently don't want to do that. I just want to start it up as clean as possible and then start using it from that state. Then I have to log in with an Apple ID, and honestly I cannot even remember if I have an Apple ID. I probably do because I use it for iTunes, right? So okay, I'm gonna need to figure this out now. I was using the trackpad a little bit there during setup, and I think that feels great, and the size of it is really good. I kinda wish more PC devices would go for this kind of size of a trackpad. Once I'm in the laptop, I'm gonna try the keyboard a bit more, but just typing a few things on it, it actually feels really good. This is interesting. Here you can see that you can get diagrams every day or every week with information about how much screen time you have. And we have Siri settings. You can activate Ask Siri. Hey Siri, öppna dokumentmappen. I thought the setup process in Windows was pretty rigorous, but I gotta say this is way more intense to just choose all the settings, all the privacy settings, all the information you want to share or don't want to share. But now we're finally in macOS, and I can get a first feel for macOS about 3 or 4 years after I lastly used a Windows computer actively. I'm turning the screen brightness up to maximum, and I gotta say that the screen quality is really good. I'm not a huge fan of the relatively big bezels that are on all the sides of the screen, but the format of the screen looks really nice, and also the colors in the screen, they really pop quite well. So this is super nice to see. There are some updates. I'm not going to install them right now because I'm just going to get a first feel for the laptop. And let's just see. Let's go to Safari and test the screen out a bit more and the speakers out a bit as well. One thing that I realized immediately is that I'm used to being able to make a soft click with the touchpad. And currently I can't do that. I gotta press down a bit harder, and I also gotta press down here on the left side, which is quite annoying right now. But probably these are some settings that I could just change up at some point. I hope so, at least. Oh wow. Now when the video quality was coming up in the full HD 50 FPS that this video was shot in, oh my god, this is really high quality screen. And as we can see here, there are some black bezels up top and down in the bottom. So this is a 16:10 aspect ratio screen. I think I really like it, and I'm keen to try it out a bit more and see how I like it when I used it a bit. Let's ramp the volume up to max and see how it sounds there. Like this kind of content, I would be really happy if you wanted to like this video or subscribe to the channel if you like it even more. That helps me out a ton and gives you all the content I'm going to be putting out in the upcoming weeks and months. There will be a lot of stuff about Lenovo Yoga 7. The front-firing speakers, as you can see here, they really do sound well. I'm quite impressed by the sound quality, but this is also something that Apple has always been known for. They make good screens, good trackpads, and good speakers. That is really good sound quality. It is matching my Lenovo Yoga Slim 7, I would say, or maybe even a little bit better. It is definitely better than the IdeaPad 5 that has a bit of a kind of bassy but also a bit kind of shaky or trembling sound when you raise the volume to max. Here you got a super stable sound that doesn't crack at any point, even when you crank up the volume. The overall quality feel to the laptop is really good, and this is something that I kind of estimate with Apple devices, that the quality feel will be pretty good. It's a bit heavier than I thought it would be. It's kind of like very rigid, but it's not super heavy, just a bit heavier than I thought because it's such a thin and supposedly light laptop. The last thing I wanted to try out was the keyboard a little bit more. The last notes I put here were from the beginning of 2018. That is quite interesting. I gotta say, I like the keyboard. I think the typing experience is fine. The keys are very short travel, but a bit more travel than what I thought they would be. So I think I've read somewhere that Apple have upgraded their keyboard for 2020 compared to how it was in 2019. Because I'm used to the keyboard being like a lot louder and almost having no travel at all. You know, those classic butterfly switches. And I think these switches here have a tiny bit more travel. There is a bit of keyboard flex here. It's not a lot, but I still have to say that there is some. So even though it's a solid build quality, there is a little bit of keyboard flex when I press down hard on the keyboard. The trackpad though is not flexing at all. There is no giveaway from the trackpad, and I think it's actually not a mechanical click. I think it's an electronic click here that then gives a bit of a vibration. I'm not 100% sure of this, so don't quote me to it, but it doesn't really feel like it's actually clicking down. So I think there's something electronically going on here. That is it for the unboxing and first look at the MacBook Air for 2020. I gotta say my first impression of the laptop is actually pretty good. Both the display with its format and its colors, the speakers, and also the keyboard, the new keyboard that is actually not that bad when it comes to travel distance. Together with a big size trackpad that seems to work really well, which I'm not surprised with when it comes to an Apple product. I think this could be a pretty good package, even though that it comes in at a relatively high price. I bought this one for 11,500 Swedish crowns. That's 1,150 euros or about $1,250. I think this is outrageous when it comes to the components that you get inside of it, and this is going to be quite interesting to try how much this impacts the overall feel of the computer compared to the other ones, all the PCs that I've been reviewing in this channel. If you want to see the other videos I make about the MacBook Air 2020, do subscribe to the channel, and then I will see you in the next video. Have a really nice day. Bye bye.